Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack a super fascinating topic that sits right at the very heart of the stock market. We are decoding the 0050 ETF. Now, if you've spent any amount of time looking into wealth building, you've probably seen those four numbers thrown around, but today we're actually going to pull back the curtain. We'll look at the pure mechanics of what this is, how it operates, and why it holds such a massive, dominant position for so many people. So grab your notebooks, get focused, and let's get started.
Look, before we get into the really technical details, let's just address the elephant in the room, the core inefficiency of individual stock picking. You know you need to invest, right? But analyzing thousands of individual companies, poring over quarterly balance sheets, trying to time the market perfectly, it's a massive time sink. It's incredibly inefficient, especially for focused professionals who just want to capture growth without making asset management their second full-time job. Finding a systematic way to grab that market upside without all that single stock friction, well, that's exactly the goal here. And that brings us to the core of our source material today, which uses this incredibly powerful metaphor. The authors describe the 0050 ETF not just as some standard financial product, but as a ticket to Taiwan's national strength. I absolutely love that phrasing. It takes something totally abstract, something purely mathematical, and turns it into an exclusive VIP access pass. It really makes you feel like you aren't just buying paper shares, you are buying directly into the collective economic engine of an entire region. Section 1. Buying Taiwan's broad market. So taking that big macro approach and turning it into a completely transparent strategy is exactly what this fund does. The 0050, or officially the Yuanta Taiwan Top 50 ETF, constructs a portfolio that's highly correlated with Taiwan's broad economic market. It does this by meticulously screening for the top 50 industry leaders. Think about it. Instead of trying to find a needle in a haystack by picking one or two winning companies, it just connects you straight to the whole macroeconomic landscape. If the broader economy goes up, your portfolio goes up right alongside it. There's no hidden black box here. It literally just follows the size and success of the broader market.
And that brings us to this single, absolutely crucial number, 50. Now I know, 50 sounds like a really small number compared to the thousands of publicly traded companies out there, right? But this number represents the absolute titans. We are talking about the largest, most globally competitive dragonhead enterprises within the entire Taiwan stock market. By holding this specific basket, you're essentially holding the top 50 heavyweights that are physically pulling the entire economy forward.
Section 2, the law of survival. Let's take a look under the hood. And this brilliantly illustrates how that management engine actually runs day to day. You can almost personify the ETF as a ruthless, highly efficient talent manager. Here's how it works. Step 1. Every single quarter, without fail, it evaluates the market capitalization of all the companies. Step 2. If some new emerging industry giant has grown large enough, boom, it gets added to the team. Step 3. Any company that's shrinking, declining, or just losing its competitive edge, it's instantly cut from the roster. No hard feelings. It is just a continuous automatic loop of weeding out the weak and keeping the strong. And because of this automatic quarterly turnover mechanism, you literally need zero deep stock picking skills to participate in the market's growth. You don't have to sit there reading balance sheets every night. You don't have to track CEO changes or corporate drama. The ETF does all the heavy lifting for you, ensuring that you're effortlessly capturing the long-term growth dividends of whoever the current market leaders happen to be, without lifting a finger. Section 3, Reward and Risk. Let's move to and see how this builds a somewhat double-edged sword. To truly wrap our heads around this double-edged sword, we've got to look closely at exactly what is inside that basket of 50 companies right now. The source material is super clear about the heavy concentration here. The core sectors are totally dominated by semiconductors, finance, and shipping. But the most vital piece of data to understand is the anchor component, TSMC, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. This single company accounts for a massive, truly decisive proportion of the ETF's entire weight. So you aren't just buying 50 equally weighted companies, you are buying a portfolio that is incredibly heavily anchored by one global semiconductor giant. Now, this heavy tech concentration creates a very specific, undeniable dynamic. On one side, there are serious long-term rewards. You get direct exposure to world-class global competitiveness, and historically speaking, this acts as a highly effective hedge against inflation. But the systemic risks are equally real.
Because the ETF is so highly correlated with the broader market and so heavily tied to specific tech sectors, if the market experiences severe fluctuations or downturns, this ETF is going to take the full brunt of it. It absolutely does not hide from systemic risk. It rides it.
Section 4. Are you suitable? Let's figure out if this actually makes sense for you. So the crucial point is figuring out who this tool is really built for. With all that transparent data laid out, it's time to assess your own personal financial profile. The data highlights 3 specific types of investors who benefit the most here. Number 1, long-term savers. If you're leveraging dollar cost averaging over a long timeline, that quarterly rebalancing works perfectly for you. Number 2, fresh graduates. You can immediately diversify away from single stock failure risk while you spend your time actually learning how the economy works. And number 3, steady allocators. These are folks who use the 0050 as the foundational, solid base layer of a much larger set-it-and-forget-it portfolio strategy.
Distilling everything we've unpacked from our sources today, we really arrive at this ultimate philosophy. The 0050 ETF represents an effortless way to share in the long-term upward trend of the broader market. It basically trades the potential for those massive, overnight single-stock lottery wins for something much, much more pragmatic. A systematic, self-cleaning mechanism that tracks the strongest economic players in the region. Which leaves us with one final big thought to ponder. We've successfully decoded the mechanics, the risks, and the underlying logic of the 0050 ETF. Now you have to ask yourself, does this VIP ticket fit your personal investment style? And honestly, are you ready for the ride? Take some time, think about your timeline, your own risk tolerance, and how much time you actually want to spend analyzing stocks on a Tuesday night. Keep learning, keep structuring your knowledge, and I will see you in the next explainer.